eighth note drum groove. Okay, so now we're taking the same idea with the hands being crossed over, the right hand on the hi-hat, the left hand on the snare drum. And if we take the quarter note, which is the all we're doing now is we're adding some hi-hats in between the quarter notes. So let's break it right back down. So just going back down to the hi-hat. Remember when we were doing the note value, which is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... What we're going to do now is we're going to take that idea over to the hi-hat, but we're going to do it with one hand. So that 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and we're just going to play with the right hand on the hi-hat, thusly. Okay, and again, what we're going to do now is we're going to try and add the snare drum, the backbeat, on 2 when we count to 2 and when we count to 4. So like this. Okay. As you'll see on the notation, I'll put the notation underneath. We've got, as I've sort of mentioned before, on the music stave, it's quite easy to read now because we've got along the top the crosses, which are our hi-hats. In the middle of the music stave, we've got the snare drum, like the coloured in dot, which is the second line down, which basically is in the middle. And then we've got the bass drum right at the bottom of the music stave. So you're only reading 3 things. So hopefully that's starting to make a bit more sense how kind of simple drum music can be read. Okay, so going back to this, now we're going to drop the snare drum out and we're just going to do the bass drums on 1 and 3. So again, let's do a bar of counting just on the hi-hat and then try and add the bass drums. So yeah, as I've said before, making special attention to when you do play the bass drum or the snare drum, that it's landing exactly with those hi-hats. Now it might probably won't land completely at the same time to begin with, but that's what you're striving for, okay? You're striving for it to be landing at exactly the same time. Okay, so now we're going to try and put the bass drum on 1 and 3 and the snares on 2 and 4. So this will be your 8th note drum groove. So we'll start with just the hi-hats and then I'll add the snare and then the bass drum. Okay, so that's your 8th note pattern. That groove is used on so many songs, it's unbelievable. Off the top of my head, Queen, Another One Bites the Dust, pretty much every single AC/DC song you'll ever hear. And to varying degrees, that is used on so much music. Different tempos, but essentially that kicks on 1 and 3, backbeats on 2 and 4 is something that is universal with rock, pop, most sort of commercial music. Another really good thing you can do once you've got the hang of both of those is then put them together. A bar of quarter note groove, a bar of eighth note groove. So that'll sound like this.